Good morning, friends. Welcome again to another episode of the J Talk Morning Show. Great to have you on board with me this morning. Hope you're getting up, getting out, and getting at it this morning because we got a lot. I love what Jerry Reed says. We got a long ways to go and a short time to get there. So we're going to get started on this. Let's go ahead and kill that music, and we'll get started with our morning talk. The first thing we want to do is let's have some Java in the morning. Java with J, okay? So, all right, it's time to take care of business. I didn't fade that out. Oops. All right. First of all, I want to thank my good friend, John Fleck, this morning. John, good morning to you, my friend. Thank you for sending me a quick little message. Say, hey, are we on this morning? And yes, we are definitely on. I was a few minutes late yesterday. I'm a few minutes late today. Both times I was taking care of something, trying to get rushed. But this morning I was taking care of something. And folks, I got to just be honest and transparent with you. I got to do it. Okay. I got working on something and sidetracked. I got sidetracked. So John, thank you for that message, man. He shot me a message, and this is what John said. John Fleck, my good friend. He says, let's get it coming on this morning. So absolutely, my friend. Thank you for that message. Sometimes you just get busy. You've got things you want to do for the day. And then you get started on it and say, I got a few minutes. I can jump on this. Yeah. So, what's the old phrase? There's no weeds, no grass growing under my feet, or moss, something like that. No moss growing on my feet, something like that. I'm always moving. And I think that is something, the term, I think, is like there's no moss under my feet. So yeah, I started immediately on some things I want to try to accomplish today. And there's something I'm about to do that I want to share with you, but at the same time, I'm going to hold off on it, and I'm excited about it. So, it's one of those things like, I just want to say something, but I got to hold it in just a little while longer. So that's what I'm doing. I'm holding it in a little while longer. But it's exciting news from me, exciting news, hopefully for you even. But anyway, it's coming soon. So yesterday we started talking about the law of consistency, which is the fifth law in John Maxwell's book. Pull it out of my stack here again today. The 15 Invaluable Laws of Growth, right? Great book, great workshop. When I first joined the John Maxwell team, it was the very first workshop I actually taught that John had certified me and thousands of others around the world by now. And I think I was in a group where I think I might have been, I want to say 3,000 at the time when I went through my certification. But yes, this is an incredible book. If you don't have it, get it. Okay. It's one of the great books on personal growth and development. It helps you with 15 invaluable laws of personal growth. And I love that workshop because I was able to not only just teach some of the principles and the practices and philosophies of personal growth and with each of the laws, but I was also able to kind of coach a few people during that process. And I've used it as a coaching tool, actually, several times on personal growth and development. So it's always one of my go-tos when it comes to personal growth and development, talking about the different laws and then breaking that down and helping teaching and helping people to apply those laws in their life as they're trying to achieve their personal goals. Great book. So we are teaching from that. And I pulled it from my facilitator's guide today. And I thought, yesterday I thought, why don't I share the law of consistency? I think that's something that sometimes we have a tendency to let things go, not be as disciplined in our pursuit of what needs to happen and what we want to happen. And without consistency and without persistence, there's persistence and there's consistence. Persistence is the drive moving forward. Consistency is continuing driving forward. Okay. Many of us give up. We give up too quickly. I shared the story of an actor that had worked and worked for 15 years before he ever got his name on the big billboard, before he actually got a part that changed his life forever as an actor. 15 years. And how many of us will quit something in 15 minutes? We won't give it more than 15 minutes. And we move on. The rewards of being absolutely consistent in your pursuits of personal growth and personal achievement, okay, professional growth and professional achievements, it requires consistency. It requires persistence. In other words, discipline. Discipline. This law actually could have been written as the law of discipline, okay? And without that, you will not achieve what you hope to achieve, what you wish to achieve. You will move on. And what happens later in life, you'll look back and say, if only I would have done this longer. If only I would have done more of this. If only I would have stayed with it. If only I had the discipline of consistency and persistence. If only. Too many of us, towards the end of our lives, we have a long list if onlys. Don't be that person. You have a dream, you have a goal, you have something you want to do, create, become. Why are you waiting? That's a question I think we need to ask ourselves. Why am I waiting to move forward? Why am I waiting to dive into this and to let nothing else distract me? You know, I love in the book of Nehemiah, when Nehemiah was going back home to Israel to build the wall back up, and he sectioned it off. He took charge, and others were coming to him and saying, "What are you doing? What are you doing? Why are you doing that? Why don't you come join us? Come have dinner. Come have a drink. Come do this." And he says, "No, no, 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 no. I don't have time for that. I ain't got time for that. I'm here to do a good work." He didn't allow anything else to pull him from what his goal was, what he knew his purpose was. That's the same with all of us. Are you allowing other people? Are you allowing other things? Are you allowing other goals sometimes to override the priority? The goal that you have set a priority on, are you allowing other ones to kind of distract you from it? How many of us have gone to clean out the garage and it still needs to be cleaned out because we got sidetracked cleaning the living room, picking up something, picking up a guitar, going out in the beautiful weather, watching a television show? Oh, wait a minute. The garage still needs to get done. If it was a priority, you've allowed other things to interfere with that. Well, whatever it is you're trying to pursue and achieve, you've got to make that a priority, which means you've got to be very disciplined. And folks, I'm sharing this with you. Let me tell you something. I am one of the worst ones. I know the process. I know the importance. I mean, I think more than anything, I know the process. But even I get distracted. Now, I can use the fact that once upon a time, I was diagnosed with adult ADD, right? And while that is true, it explained a lot once I found out. I determined that I was going to have ADD. ADD was not going to have me. And so I took control of that. If I am easily distracted, then that means I need to be more focused. So I need to train myself. And that's what I've done. I have trained myself to prioritize. I have trained myself to listen intently when people are talking to me. I have trained myself. It used to be so easy to be distracted by everything else around, right? In other words, my peripheral had my attention more than my focus. And maybe that's you. Maybe your peripheral has your attention more than your focus. So consistency. So taken from John's lessons here, the law of consistency, motivation gets you going, but discipline keeps you going. I talked yesterday about how to grow. Do you know what you need to improve on? And do you know how you're supposed to improve? Those two things. I talked about the different personality styles. That plays a big part in your ability to be disciplined as well. A high D on a disc level will be more disciplined to get things done because they're boom, no nonsense. Let's do this now. Let's go at it. Boom, boom. They don't need all the information. They don't need distractions. A high I can be easily distracted, okay, because they have a lot of interest. They are the more humorous ones of the group, if I may. They're the ones that, and all comedians, practically every comedian has a level of ADD, okay, attention deficit disorder, okay, and the when they do that, it draws them away from the other things they want to do. But comedians that have that, their mind is always going. They're thinking of the next punchline, the next setup. They're thinking of the next one. How's what I'm saying now going to be a setup for what I want to use as a punchline? And they do that in their personal lives too. Hey, I've got to make these calls, but I've also got to do this, this, and this. And then if you have too many tasks, you're all over the place. That's why it's important to learn the skill of focus, laser sharp focus, and priorities. Know what your priority is. Know what you can do. Know what you need to delegate. Okay, my 5 Ds: do it, delegate, dispatch it out, delay it, or dump it. You got to know these things. And when you can clear these things out and you have the things only you can do, it makes life so much simpler, so much easier, and you focus on that. But don't be distracted. You have a mission, you're on task. Don't be distracted by the little pleasures of life, okay? Don't be distracted by another task. Don't be distracted by other people. You got to be consistent. Okay. So we talked about those yesterday. Today, do you know why you want to keep improving? Why is a big question. Why is a really big question. Do you know your why? Why you want to do what you want to do? Why you want to be who you want to be? Why you want to have what you want to have? Do you know your why? Without a why, there's not a big enough purpose if your why is not big enough. So what is your why? This is the question of your own motives and your life purpose. Okay, so here's here's a little test that John came up with, the why test. Why? Do you constantly procrastinate on important tasks? These questions you got to ask yourself. Do you constantly procrastinate on important tasks? Do you require coaxing to do small chores? Okay. Guys, is your wife constantly poking you in the ribs to get something done? Take care of a bill, take care of the garage, take care of your health, Are you constantly needing to be coaxed to do what you need to do? Do you perform duties just to get by? Do you perform duties just to get by? In other words, are you just doing enough just to get through it, just to get by? And folks, let me know how the signal is. Looks like I got a weak signal here. Connection's unstable. I just changed my Wi-Fi system too. So let me look up here comments. John, my good man, should have been at your table. Persist with exception. Andy Andrews. Yes. I love Andy Andrews. I haven't listened to his stuff in a while, but he's good. I may have to pull him up today. Should have been at your table. Not sure what that was referring to, but I'm assuming it was maybe at a Maxwell event is what I'm assuming. I'll leave the comments up there. All right. So the other thing, do you constantly talk negatively about your work? Okay, if you constantly talk negatively about your work, that means you're probably not living into your full potential or full purpose. You're not living into your purpose. If you're not finding the joy and fulfillment in what you do, maybe you're not doing what you should be doing. You might want to reevaluate that. Do efforts of your friends to encourage you irritate you instead? Do efforts of your friends to encourage you irritate you instead? That's another one. Do you start projects and abandon them? I should have put that one at the very top. Do you start projects and then you abandon them? That goes into the distractions aspect. That's not discipline. You're not say, here's a project, I need to jump back on it. Many of us have projects we start, we don't complete them. Guys, I tell you, I have many projects that I've been working on, book projects, performance projects, um, home projects, even, that I need to complete. And I'm sure many of you are the same way. It takes discipline. Do you avoid self-improvement opportunities? Now, for me, no. I am all about growing. I'm all about learning, and anything I can do to make me a better version of me and become the person I want to be in 5 years from now. I am always on that. As a matter of fact, sometimes I'll sign up for way too many webinars and can't attend them all, but I'll gather the information I can and learn and grow from them as much as I can. But I'm always on a constant growth of and learning journey all the time. It's hardly a minute goes by I'm not. Even when I'm listening to music, I'm learning. I'm like, what is that? What are they doing? What are they playing? What's that instrument? Could they do it differently? Katrina should tell you, I'm always uh, reproducing and rearranging songs in order to see if we did it this way a little differently. Yeah, I do my Elvis shows and we want to keep those, authentic. But if I'm doing other stuff, I may want to change it up a little bit. So I'm always learning and growing and listening to what others are doing so I can see, is that something I can use? Is it something I can work with? And then how can I share and teach that with others? I have an acronym called REACT. Anytime I'm learning something new, REACT, REACT. And it was something I learned from John Maxwell, but I tagged on the front end of it. I often do stuff like that. John said ACT, right? Apply. How can I apply this to my life? What do I need to change? And how can I teach this to others, right? Well, I threw the RE in front of it. When I'm getting ready to learn something, receive the information, okay? Be open and receive it. Have an expectation of to learn and to grow, okay? Apply this to my life, change it, and teach this to others, right? So, yes, John, that would have been fun, man. That would have been fun. We are planning. Well, it's tentative right now. We're planning to go back to Orlando in August this year. So that's a goal of ours, and hopefully we can meet up there if you're going back again. If not, but we are definitely planning. If not August, maybe March. Let's see. How to find your what and to know what the why is. Yes. Morning, Catherine. It's good to have you on this morning. It hasn't been showing you are live on my feed. Okay. I don't know why it would be, but you may have to put it in there. I'm not sure how that shows up. But anyway, you can also go to YouTube on the YouTube channel, and it's is live on the YouTube channel itself. So if you go to YouTube, J Talk Morning Show, you can also catch it live there. Okay. Oh, not my phone. So those are some of the things that we can do. Now, has quitting become a habit? Has quitting become a habit? Do you want to play chopsticks or conduct an orchestra in your own life? Okay, I like how John puts that. Do you want to play chopsticks or do you want to create an orchestra of your own life? What a great analogy. How many of us are just playing chopsticks with our life? We're just doing the bare minimum just to get something going. Say, okay, I can recognize this. How many of you remember the movie Big with Tom Hanks, right? And dancing on that little piano there at that big toy store there in New York. Are you doing that, or are you going to? Oh, that's Kathleen Thompson this morning. Morning, Kathleen. I thought that was Catherine there for a minute. So what are you going to do? Are you going to create an orchestra? Do you have it laid out? An orchestra takes a lot of pieces, a lot of moving pieces. a lot of planning, a lot of rehearsing, a lot of practice to become that masterpiece. Your life, my friends, your life is a masterpiece. Okay. God's already created that, but He's given us the paintbrush and palette to co create our life with Him. So, how are you taking advantage of this beautiful palette that God created? He's given you the paintbrush. What are you doing with it? He needs you to finish it up. How are you painting your life? How are you creating your masterpiece? Okay. You got to do more than playing chopsticks. You got to be doing more than just watercolors and crayons. Okay. If you're creating a masterpiece, what are you doing? Okay. That takes discipline. And even the small right choices over time become big victories. Remember to celebrate each and every small victory too. You know, every small victory celebrate. So even the small right choices, you make a good choice. Okay. Over time become big victories. Remember me always talking about football? I talk about how do you get to the end zone at the opposite end of the field? 1 yard at a time. Every yard is a victory. It's a small victory. Okay. You make a decision, you make a choice, you get that advancement, you make your way down there. You know what you've got to do. But you can't have 4 plays and just do 1 yard each. You got to have a plan. Okay. I'm going to go 2 yards today. I'm going to go 3 yards tomorrow. I'm going to go 1 yard the next day. Oh, wait, I'm down to the 4th down. Am I going to kick or am I going to run it that last 4 yards to get the 10-yard line, to get that first down? That's what you have to do every single day. You've got to be consistent. Be consistent. Can you give it the same energy level every day? Probably not. Can you give it some energy level today and more energy level tomorrow? Yes, most definitely you can. I will answer that question for you. Yes, you can. Maybe you don't have the energy today. Maybe you have another priority that has to be taken care of today. So your main project has to be given, say, 2 hours of attention because you have something else that requires your attention, which could be an hour to 4 hours to 8 hours. You just don't know. So every day our priorities do change. What is the priority of the day? Not the priority of the week. You know, you can have that one too, but you've got to realize that every day you've got tasks. So what is a priority on this day? And where does it fit in on my schedule? Where does it fit in on my 15-minute schedule? Okay. You know, I've talked about the 15-minute scheduling process. You know, it's going 15 minutes, 30 minutes, 45 minutes, 60 minutes. And goes boom, boom, boom all day long. Where does it fit in there? Okay. Do I need to shift something? Sometimes priorities have to shift because something comes up. It happens. So today you can give an hour to something, and tomorrow maybe you can give the full day to something, the same project to get it done. If you look around you right now, you see many things that you know you needs your attention. Why not try to sit down, write it out, a priority for those, and then determine to be disciplined. Today, I'm going to do this. I'm going to clean the garage. I'm going to clean half of the garage. I'm going to clean 1/4 of the garage. Whatever you can do, every little right choice becomes great victories. Okay, I got the comments section open. If you got a comment, something you want to add, your experience and or your process or something, or shout out, whatever, go ahead and pop that in there. Okay, the next thing is, do you know when you're supposed to improve? Do you know when you're supposed to improve? I love this, and I've heard this before, and you probably heard this too. If you take your watch, I always love the thing. If you take a calendar and look on there, what do you see? You see days, right? You see Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Nowhere on the calendar do you see someday. Someday. Sound like Sunday. If you look at your watch, what do you see? You see numbers 1 through 12. Comes back again 1 through 12. Unless you're a military guy like me, it's 1 through 24. Okay. or 0 through 24, actually. What do you have on your watch? It does not say sometime, right? So you got to know when. When are you supposed to improve and do the things you know you should do? Every day you should be changing for the better. Every day you should be growing for the better. Every day you should be filling yourself with stuff that's going to help you get closer to your goal. This day is a resource given to us by the source. Okay. This day is a resource given to us by the source. We use the time we have in the day, a resource, to accomplish that which the source has purposed us to accomplish, has given us to accomplish. Every single day, you are filled with resources to complete what it is you need to complete. So, what are 2 habits? Think about this. I want you to think about this for a couple of minutes or a couple of seconds, really, because I'm not going to pause for 2 minutes and give you time. But right now, in your heart of hearts, in your mind, what are 2 habits that you could change today to be more consistent, to be more disciplined in your personal growth? To achieve that which you dream of achieving, what are 2 habits that you could do today? Maybe it's 1 habit, but shoot for 2. And you overachievers, go for 3. What are 3 habits you could change today? Okay. Is it procrastination that you could overcome? Is it to develop a new habit? Remember, when you get rid of 1 habit, you replace it with another habit. So what's 1 habit you could get rid of and replace it with a new habit? If you're a procrastinator, that's a habit you could change. What good habit could you in place that's going to help you not procrastinate? What is it? What's a new habit if you're in the habit of coming in the doors, kicking your shoes off, flipping them through the air, where they land, they sit until the next day? And your socks are somewhere nearby too. Okay. Now, I'm not saying that's what I do, but that's just something popped in my head. What would be a habit to replace that? We can change our behaviors if we step back, take a look at it, if we get somebody else's honest opinion, their perspective on it. So, yeah, I'd like to change that about myself. Great. What do you need to get rid of, and what do you need to fill your life more of? Those are things to think about. We're coming down to the bottom of the hour here, yeah, I started this late, folks, but that's okay. I'm always on time when you show up. Okay. But I'm going to do a part 3 on this tomorrow. And we're going to start jumping into the live it aspect of this lesson. There's lead it. There's learn it, live it, and lead it. So yesterday and today, we talked about the learning aspect of it. Tomorrow, I'm going to start the living it out aspect. And then there's the lead it. How do you be that influence for others? How do you represent yourself to others and help them grow? So that's kind of the process of learning that we use. So Catherine says, consistency is the hardest thing to help a recovering addict learn. They are resistant to adhering to new habits. It's easier to do what we know than to embrace what we don't know. And it's easier to dream for what we don't have than it is to embrace what we do have and make it better. And so, Catherine, I understand, and I understand maybe more than you think I do. But I get that. And I'll just say I get that. Absolutely. John says time management, eat healthier, and journal. Okay, fantastic. Those are the things that you want to change. You want to make a 3 new habits. I think journaling would definitely be 1 habit. If I can share with you, journaling definitely would be a habit that I would like to adopt. And I love to write. but I like to write lessons. I like to write stories. I like to write in my book. I like to write blogs. Um, Journaling is the one thing I've never really been good at. But could I get good at it? The answer is yes. Okay. Eating healthier, absolutely. The older you get, my friend, the more you want to focus on that. It's harder to lose it when you get older. I'm just saying. And time manage. John, one thing about time management is we all have time. We all have the same amount of time. The thing is, we can't manage time, but we can manage what we do with the time. So it's managing priorities and projects. That's what you have. And then time is actually just another tool that we use to allocate what we're doing during those times. So time, you hear people talk about time management, but you really can't manage time. Time is itself. You only manage what you do in the time you have. So I would say maybe project planning, project management, project priority, make everything a project, and then uh, place a priority level on that. The Eisenhower matrix, also known as the priority matrix, is a great tool to use. Okay, I put it on a post-it note. Write down what your project is. Right. On a post-it note that gets it out of your head on a post-it note. Have a quadrangle, on a whiteboard or even on a wall. Just use a blank wall. And you can put urgent, important, non-urgent, important, urgent, not important, not urgent, not important. And you put that right exactly where it's at. And one of these days, I'm going to do an actual presentation on how I do that. When I got some major things going, sometimes I'll take time and I will write down my task. I'll put them on the priority matrix. And then in the priority matrix, I incorporate my 5Ds process, which I shared with you just earlier, right? Is this something only I can do? Or is this something I can delegate? Or is this something I can dispatch? I need to outsource, right? If it's something I need somebody else to do. Is this something that it's important, but it's not urgent, right? Then I may categorize that in a way of saying, okay, I'm going to delay that one. So I'm going to move that post-it note over into the delay category. Or is it something that has nothing to do with what I want to achieve? Is it time wasting practice, which also, if you're building a business, it's income reducing practice? You can't gain profits if you're doing something that really you shouldn't be doing and nobody else should be doing, and it's really not important nor urgent. It goes in the dump it file. So that's kind of how I do that. I post-it notes, priority matrix, my 5Ds process. And that's what I do. So I'd like to maybe I'll do a workshop on that. Actually, I've been wanting to do a workshop on that. So, okay. I love the comments. Thank you so much for the comments today. I appreciate that. Catherine says, I'm horrible at time. A lot of a certain amount of time for a task, then always go over that time. That is the hardest thing for almost anybody, Catherine. I mean, I share that with you. Sometimes I love what I've heard. We overestimate what we can get done in a day, and we underestimate what we can do in a month. Or we overestimate how much we can do in a year, and we underestimate how much we can do in 5 years, right? Now, as far as time, it's kind of reverse. We underestimate the time that we can get done with things, and we overestimate the time it might take. So that is a thing that really it is. And that's when you have to learn, okay, when I'm doing a task, what is the most important part of this task? Have you ever heard of chunking? And I should just do a workshop on this whole thing, really, but I'm going to share with you right now. There's a process called chunking it, okay, or you can block it, and what you do is you put your task and you create these chunks. You take chunks out. This is what I need to do. When you're creating a masterpiece or when you're chipping away at a statue, then you are chipping away at a certain section, but you can't chip away the whole block, right? Chip away a certain section to create what you want to. Well, it's the same with our task. We have to chip away at a certain part, but we got to identify where do I want to chip? Where do I want to chip? And that's the part you start chipping away at. And then you chip at the next one. So you kind of chunk up your projects. You chunk it up into time and use the 15-minute time allocation project scheduling, right? I can't remember the full name of it. I have to go back and look at my books over here. But it is definitely one of the coaching tools we use. And 15 minutes, every 15 minutes, plan your day out. You can do it early morning, plan your day out. You can do it the night before, plan your day out. And that's going to help you develop those discipline muscles, those routine muscles, to knock those things out. It becomes a habit. Now, just like with anything else, when we start anything else new, it's always hard. It's always hard. It's never easy, and we will get discouraged. We will get discouraged, and we'll want to quit. That's why I said the gentleman that worked and worked and worked and finally became an actor in 15 years, whereas some of us will stop doing things in those first 15 minutes because it's too hard, it's too difficult. We're not used to doing that. It's too easy to go back to the normal and live in regret. That's what happens. If you live in average, if you go back to the normal, if you go back to what's easy, because it's what you know, you live with regret, always kicking yourself in the backside, saying, I wish I would have. I should have, would have, could have, right? Like Tony Robbins says, we end up shoulda all over ourselves, right? So it really is just learning to know what you want to do, know when you want to do it, know why you want to do it, before you ever figure out the how. Then learn the how. And the resources are so exponential. You have every resource in the world to achieve everything you want to achieve. So, all right, my friends, I think I'm going to wrap that up with you today. Life is a project. Yes, John, life is a project. Absolutely. It needs to be planned well. Needs to be planned well. I'm making a big jump here very, very soon. But that didn't come at a split decision. It came from planning. It came from consistent planning, a process to get to the point where I'm at. It also, required me to do some things that I didn't want to do, but to get to where I want to go. And you're going to have that too. Everybody's going to have that. All right, my friends, God bless you. I hope this video came out well. The signal was having a little issue. It looks like it's doing okay now. But we are here. So tomorrow we're going to pick this up again. We're going to pick this up again, and we're going to talk about some of the go conscious versus go growth consciousness. And if you would like to be a part of a workshop on this, a mastermind, a virtual workshop, John, you definitely know where I'm coming from on this. You're a part of the team. If you'd like to be part of this workshop, send me a message, write down in the comments, and I'll get that workshop going and send you the invitation. I am going to do this workshop. It is happening. But if you'd like to be at the front end of that, that'd be fantastic. Just shoot me a message, and we can make that happen. All right. Okay, so we have gone way over, but thank you for being with me today. Thank you so much, John and Catherine and Kathleen, for your comments and for being on today. Thank you so much. Folks, remember to go over to YouTube. If you're watching this live on Facebook or catching a replay of it on Facebook, make sure to go over to YouTube, to the J Talk Morning Show, and find me, and just and you'll see that little logo up there in the right-hand corner, upper right-hand corner. That's covering the page usually. I think that's what it is. Oh no, it's got a picture of me standing there with my arms crossed, I believe. Yeah, that's what it's got. Maybe I could pull that up and just do a screen share real quick and do that so you know what it looks like. Okay, come back here. Let's do a screen share. Okay. And there it is. Okay, so this is what the page looks like. If you see this, give a thumbs up or something and let me know that you actually see this page. I'm doing a screen share with you, and I'm still experimenting with all this tough stuff too. So, but this is the page to go to, the J Talk Morning Show. Looks like bleachers up there, fantastic auditorium to do a speaking event at. And then there I am with my arms crossed. I am standing at the Alamo when this picture was taken. I was standing at the Alamo and inside one of the corridors. So it was a fantastic event. I've always wanted to go there. So there you have it, my friends. Awesome. John, you saw great. Okay, now you see another. So, okay, awesome. So now I'm going to stop sharing. Here I am. Look at me over there. Okay. Hey, folks, confession time. I've never done this before. So this is pretty cool. I'm excited about it. All right. So I can remove that now. And I am back in. Oh, that's cool. And then I can add that back. Look at that. Okay. Thank you for being here and watching me entertain myself here. All right. We're going to stop sharing that. Great. Okay, friends, thank you so much for being with me again. Thank you, John, once again for reminding me, hey, guess what? You got a show this morning. I got sidetracked doing some other things. And so thank you so very much. So we're going to rock on out of here and get this going. And need you to get up, get out there, and get at it, because the world needs what you have to offer, my friends. All right? God bless each and every single one of you. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.